carried momentum from week to week, and we're able to play well at the end of the season. So, that's kind of the blueprint, but we have to go out and do it each and every week here.
So I've got a bunch of calls lined up. A bunch of questions lined up for Ryan. So if we could ask one per, and if we got time, we'll try to do follow. So Paul?
Ryan, I know everybody's got a role on offense. The way Corey's gone this year and with everything he does in the run game and blocking downfield for other guys in addition to his receptions, is he kind of become an indispensable part of the whole operation?
Corey's huge. He's been big for us all year long. Obviously, taking a big stride this year. I feel like in the pass game, he's got a great feel for what we're trying to do and the nuances, the details of the routes he's running, creating a lot of separation and getting himself open. So he's a dangerous weapon in the pass game. And you mentioned the run game as well. He's physical, he's tough. He's probably one of the top blocking wide receivers in the game. So he's kind of the embodiment of how we want to play: fast, physical, aggressive, and then makes big plays when his number's called. So really thankful to have Corey on the outside for us.
Jane?
How would you describe Quisenberry right now? What did you think about the way that he's stepped in and the way that he's playing, given some of the challenges that he's had?
Well, it's huge. I'm so happy for David. What he's been through in his life, in his football career. Being able to battle back through all of that, then just kind of bide his time. Stayed patient, just kept working hard, staying with it, doing everything he could do, and then finally when his number was called last week, he stepped in and did a really good job for us. So I'm thankful we have a guy like David on our team, and going to need to lean on him as we continue forward here.
Teresa?
Ryan, how much confidence does it give on the offense when you've got Derek running the way he is, knowing that it's December, these are crucial games for playoff hopes, just knowing that he's there and kind of that constant in the offense, so to speak?
Yeah, Derek's extremely consistent. He has been all year, the past 2 years really. As long as I've been here, he's been consistent. And that's kind of the way we like to play. We like to be physical, run the football, and get Derek going. And, he does it week in and week out. His consistency is very admirable. Just his ability to play physical week in and week out, take hits, and be seemingly unfazed by him. So definitely, want to keep him rolling as we get here deep into December.
Terry?
Ryan, your interception rate since you became the starter here has been extremely low. What is your reason and your belief in terms of why that has been, maybe more so than earlier in your career?
I think I've just continued to develop over my career, just playing more and more football. I'm trying to toe the line between aggressive and smart. It's a time and place to be aggressive and really try to fit a tight throw in there, and just knowing when it's smarter to move on and look for somebody else that's open. So I'm always just trying to find that line and toe it on, like I said, being aggressive and smart.
Gentry?
Yeah, Ryan, it's, most teams will say they want to adapt a physical mentality. But in terms of what you guys have been able to do, and to an extent the Browns as well, how much of this is a function of, identity or versus personnel? In other words, not everybody has Derrick Henry.
I think it all starts up front, honestly, and it kind of goes from there. And it's not something you can just say that you want to do. You have to have the guys who are willing to go do it. So it starts up front. Our receivers are huge in the blocking game for us. A lot of teams don't ask their receivers to go be physical and dig out safeties and finish longer than the guy has the ball. But that's a pillar of our program, and our guys have bought into it, and it's paying off for us. So, Derek obviously is physical and tough and gets going, but I think it starts with the guys in front of him that are opening up lanes. And then obviously, Derek has some rare talent that enables him to take advantage of the opportunities that the other guys have given him.
John Glenn?
Hey, Ryan, we've seen a couple times, or maybe a few times this year, where AJ will just kind of take what seems to be sort of a routine cross, 10, 12 yards over the middle, and boom, 60 or 70 yards into the end zone. What allows him to do that, so much better than many other receivers in the NFL? Is it separation? Because, it's not doesn't doesn't seem like it's not necessarily blinding speed for him.
He plays fast. He's faster, I think, than people give credit for. And then he plays fast once he has the ball in his hands. A lot of guys, especially over the middle, will slow down a little bit once they get the ball in their hands and try to see where people are at. Where AJ, he plays fast. As soon as the ball hits his hands, he hits another gear, speeds up actually, and he's so big and strong that the guys don't really want to tackle him. So it's definitely a weapon for him, and he's proved it time and time again.
Thanks.
Drake.
Yeah, Ryan. I mean, going back to how things panned out last week against Indy, you were a little bit kind of looking further down the field. It's almost you were probably around 10 yards per attempt, which is something that was a little bit different than obviously the past games this season. When you look at this Browns defense, is that something that you might want to keep up, or was that more of an outlier against Indy, and you'll probably look for it to find receivers more within that 10-yard window and see if they can get some yards after the catch?
Yeah, I'm not really worried about how far they are down the field, whether it's deep. I'm just trying to, execute the plays that are called and go through my reads. So if the number one reads happen to be deeper down the field and they're open, I'll throw it to them. And if not, then go on from there. But I don't think it's a mindset of mine. It's just I try to throw it to the open guy.
David Butler.
Ryan, when you've got a guy like Myles Garrett on the other side of the line there, how do you keep yourself from not sort of keeping one eye out for him anytime you drop back to pass?
Yeah, I have so much respect for Myles. Obviously, followed him since his time at A&M. He got there right after I left, or a couple years after I left. So, watched him grow in his time at A&M and make huge plays for the Aggies. And then obviously, once he's gotten to the league, he's continued to develop and, he's one of the top edge rushers that we have in the game right now. So a ton of respect for him and what he's able to do. He's a generational type talent with his size and speed and athleticism. So definitely a ton of respect for him. But at the end of the day, I just have to go play my game and trust the guys around me to protect me.
Joe Rexrode.
Yeah, Ryan, I wanted to ask you a little bit about Derek as a pass catcher. I know you guys don't use him a lot in that way, but a little bit more in the last game. And even in the Baltimore game, there was a little play where he sort of flared out, and it looked like the defense kind of reacted to that. How much of a weapon is he even just as a threat, and then the occasional swing pass just to get him the ball a little bit of space?
Yeah, anytime that Derek has the ball in his hands in space, it's trouble for the defense. So, most of the time we're going to be handing it to him, but we do have the ability to get it out to him either on a drop back or, at the end of the game. To the Texans game, he caught a little swing pass and went, 50 yards or so. So he's definitely a weapon for us. I think the defenses have to honor that. If they don't, then we'll take advantage.
Luke?
Ryan, you talked a little bit on Sunday after the game about the next man up mentality that this team has. And Vrabel was saying that one of the reasons that it's so persistent is that he and the coaches make a point to, preach it throughout the team. How do you see that? What's your role in that and that sort of culture sort of percolating throughout the team?
Yeah, it has to be our mindset. It's a physical, tough sport, and unfortunately, guys are going to go down. You hate to see it. You don't want it to happen, but the injury rate in football is 100%, and you have to have that mentality. You want to be able to continue to prove and excel. You can't dwell on guys that go down. So that's kind of our mindset. Obviously, we care about guys who go down and don't want to see it happen, but especially in the heat of the moment, we got to have that next man up mentality. Someone has to step in there. That's why they're here is to step in and do their job. And guys have done that. They've stepped in and played huge for us.
Buck?
Yeah, Ryan, if I could go back to Rexrode's question about Derek in the passing game, Mike said he wanted to get Derek more involved with the screens and maybe executing them a little better than you guys have at this point this year. What goes into executing a screen as well as you guys have in the past?
Yeah, screens are basically an all-11 thing. Everyone has to work together. Timing has to be right. The blocks have to be right. The guy catching the screen has to be right. The throw to the tight end or back or receiver, whoever it may be, has to be in the right location. So it's really a function of everything kind of working together. If you have one guy one block off, the screener's not in the right spot, the throw is on the wrong side of his body, he has to turn the wrong way. It all works against you. So screens are definitely one of those things where, you know, everyone has to be working together and doing their job precisely in the right timing. And if you do, then it's a thing of beauty. You know, you have some opportunities for some big plays. So we've been close several times this year, really close for some huge plays a couple times, and just been a hair off. So you need to be able to just clean those details up and all be on the same page.
Last one, Teron.
Yeah, Ryan, you and Jonnu Smith haven't been able to connect as much as earlier this year. Is there anything behind that? How do you get that connection going again?
I'm not worried about John. John is consistent. He's been able to make big plays for us, you know, throughout the year. I have a ton of faith in Jonnu and his ability. As soon as his number is called and the opportunity presents itself, I have a ton of faith that Jonnu's going to make it. So, you know, I think it's just the ebb and flow of the season. You know, sometimes the game happens like that. You know, sometimes the ball goes your way a lot. Sometimes you have little flow, ebbs and flows in where the ball goes. So, you know, we realize Jonnu is a big weapon and want to continue getting the ball.
Got it. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.